Picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
Well, kids, it's week 10. Week 10 on the Enterprise D build. And I've come to you with a heavy heart. I've come to you to tell you that I'm going to have to give up on the idea of making the saucer separatable. Many of you might have already seen this coming. It was an option. I can't blame this one on Helios. They never intended for your saucer to be separatable. It was something that I wanted to do strictly for logistics of moving it in and out and moving it around. The weight of it is, I haven't put it on a set of scales yet, but it's hefty. It's got to be at least 25 pounds. It's at least that heavy. 25, 30 pounds maybe. It is very heavy kit or ship. And the times that I would need to move that around, I just thought it would be easier to take the saucer off to do that. It wasn't because I wanted to show the battle bridge. There is no battle bridge. And it wasn't for any other reason than my seeing if I could do it plus my logistical need. But it doesn't look like I can do that. And I'll tell you one good reason. I had it all put together Friday. And I clamped it down and I worked that back neck seam and it was beautiful. But then I realized I couldn't duplicate that. I couldn't duplicate that clean look because to make that happen, I have to leave the top. I would have to have left the top of the saucer unglued from the bottom of the saucer, and that's nobody's friend. It just needs to be sealed up around that edge because the back end needs to be attached to the back of the neck and then lowered down over the front. That's why. I couldn't just, because I tried, trust me, I tried. I clamped it all together, pulled it off of the stand, and I tried pushing it back on. It wouldn't have worked. It would have needed some sort of industrial strength shoehorn to get up over that hump at the back of the neck. And I felt that at that point, for the few times that I would need to separate it, it wasn't going to be worth the extra stress and strain to do it. Now it's true, it's also 10 weeks into this build, and I really want to be done with it. I'm tired of fussing with a lot of it. So, spending an extra week to figure out whether I could do that or not, I had no interest in it. Life is short. So, and so am I. So that is why. So I am not going to be making the saucer separatable. I am still going to have it separated. So I haven't wasted any work. All the stuff that I did in preliminary work to make it this way with the wiring that I did and the way I set it up, I'm still proud of that. I apologize for none of that, putting the magnets in the neck, any of that. I apologize for none of that. But, and I am going to leave it separated while I am putting decals and everything on it. So I will be decaling the entire saucer with all the lifeboats by itself over to the side, and then I will be attaching it. It's a very clean attachment. It just can only be done once. So I can, I'm going to take, well, today you can see I've got tape set up because I want to paint the trench around the edge of the saucer. I want to paint all of that today. It's a Sunday, by the way. Don't ask me how yesterday went. I don't remember it. So I will be painting that trench, and then I will be taking the saucer off and then working on the trench on the secondary hull and getting that bodywork finished up. Blending the paint back in from the epoxying I did last week. And then once all that paint is retouched up and brought back to normal, the goal is to put the gloss coat on it in preparation for coming back from Telford with the decals. Coming back from Telford with the decals, decal everything. Well, at least I could decal the secondary hull. I'm sorry, I could decal the underside of the saucer, because that's what's got the majority of the decals. Believe it or not, that's where all the lifeboats are. Well, not all of them, but a big majority of them. And that's the hardest thing to get to from the underside. So I will decal all of that, and then I will attach it to the rest of the ship, put the top of the saucer down, epoxy all of that, do all the patching on that, and then I can decal the top of the saucer. So I think that's going to work out best. I can lift the whole thing by myself still. It's not very easy. I'm going to have to get a flat rolling cart to transport it around. My big concern was that if I should bring this to Wonderfest, and would it stand up to the vibration in the back of the car? I don't know. We won't know that till next May, June. But that, I think, is going to be the best overall for my sanity and for getting the thing done in a timely manner. I just couldn't find a way to make that hump, because it kind of has to go up and over. It's not a straight slide in. It's an up and over slide in. And it's just very tough to do that. So apologies to all of you who are expecting to see a big saucer separation. That ain't going to happen. The nice thing about this is I can use that set screw and the cross brace to really nail the saucer down and make it secure and make it significant and substantial. And then I can pour resin or 1 minute epoxy over all the nuts and bolts and lock those into place, and I never have to think about them again. That's an added bonus that I wasn't anticipating. So that's my Sunday morning confession, Sunday afternoon confession. Mea culpa. I'll do my mea culpas and my self-flagellation, and we'll get back onto the work of finishing this ship up. Like I said, week 10, short week this week. Got Phil coming in on Thursday, and then we're flying out to the UK, the U of K, on Friday. So, or actually on Thursday, we'll get in on Friday. That's how long it takes. So strap in for this very short week, and we'll see how she goes. Well, it's Monday morning, folks, and work is continuing on the Enterprise D. I had a slight flurry of second thoughts about making this one piece, but I think in the long run, it's going to be a lot less trouble in the long run if I make the whole thing one piece. There was a brief candle glimmer of hope this morning, but I thought better of it, and I decided to make it all one piece. So what you're seeing here is yellow tape, and I'm doing that so that I can determine which windows I'm going to black out from the inside, and I need to get some illumination. These ones I'm not worried about. These ones are going to be lit because I've got a separate module for that. These guys, I have to provide some sort of lighting from the inside. Careful, this is going to get bright here in a second. I have to provide some sort of lighting on top of that X brace so that I can light the inner ring of windows. But I am determining which ones I want to block out from the inside, and that's the next step. Over the weekend, I did paint in the trench there, and just this morning I tooled this trench in here with a grinding bit. I did that on both sides. I've got that nice and carved in, nice and concave, and I'll paint that with a darker gray. So let's get this whole thing back up off the table. Alrighty, I'm putting in the mid-level lighting, actually the top, mid-level lighting, if that's what you want to call it, to light up the up windows and the down windows. And I'm just using this diffusion material. Now my friends, my good friends, my fellow modelers, my fellow babies, go to the office section of your local Walmart. If you haven't gotten any of these already, just get some. They're binders, they're organizers, they're basically frosted plastic folders. And they come in, sheets bigger. It's meant to fit an 8.5 by 11 sheet piece of paper in it. So it's a binder, it's a folder. This is the most excellent diffusion material you'll ever find. It's a plastic sheet. You can shape it, you can cut it, you can twist it into a bow. But basically what I'm going to do is to use this. Like I said, it cuts like a charm, but look what happens. You put two of them and you automatically diffuse. That's how good a diffusion material it is, and it's fairly cheap, and you get a bunch of them. So you don't always have to buy your hobby supplies at a hobby store. Look for things where you can find them. But that's your tip for today. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put top and bottom on this, the strip lighting, like we have here. I'm going to figure out the orientation, but I think it's going to be, one strip going this way and another strip going that me, one strip on the bottom, two strips on the top, something like that. I'll figure that out. You'll see it in a second. Wire that in, and I can jump it to any point on the string here. I can jumper it in. That's not an issue, and that's going to light up both the top and bottom. There are windows down here that have to shine down below, and there are windows up top that have to shine up. So that's going to capture both of them. The only thing I need to worry about is not to put anything where this post is. So, and also it helps, since it's not since it's a translucent material, it will also let the other lights that are already there bounce around more, and it won't add a deterrent. It won't add an extra wall or a blockage to any of the lighting. So the next step is to warm up the soldering iron and get the extra light strips in here added to the already abundant lighting that is going around the edge of the saucer. Now I see why the brilliant people who make these for a living would go with one big strip of neon back in the day, because it's uniform, universal, even lighting that you could cover a whole lot of area with. Okay, I've got the three, I guess you wouldn't call them quadrants. They are the three sections of lighting that I've got those out. I've got them designed. I just need to make them. But to do that, I got to get this beast off the table and sat down somewhere temporarily that I can, so I can get the working space. This is my daily reality, is moving stuff around to give me working space. So wish me well, and send any contributions you want to send to my chiropractor will be greatly appreciated. Alrighty, I think I'll show you off this little bit of lightery. It is the first of the three that need to go inside the saucer. Now, that's what's going to be shining up, and that's what's going to be shining down, and it's all going to fit inside the X brace that I've got inside the saucer. And now I need to do the two side bits. Right, I've got the three insert pieces done. Got them wired up. I've got them. Well, they're wired up. What I need to do now is attach them to the cross braces here from the underneath side with some clamps, and I think some 1-minute epoxy ought to do the job. I can't do them all at the same time because the clamps would be overlapping. So what I'm going to do is do one and then fit in the other two. So let's start with that one. I'm thinking, well, we're going plastic to metal here. I don't think CA is a good choice. I think 1-minute epoxy is sufficient, but if I think I'd rather use 5-minute epoxy because the 5-minute epoxy gives me a longer finagling time, plus the fact that it's not all that much different from the 1-minute. And the 1-minute I only have in the syringe format, and I don't want to waste those syringes on just a little bit of application. So yeah, let me whip up a little bit of 5-minute, which comes in the big jars, and I'll show you after the first one goes in how it's going to work. and then we will join the wiring to an outside jumper here. So let's do that, and I'll come right back. Alrighty, the front panel is in. It is curing. I maybe over clamped it, but you know, I had the opportunity in the clamp, so I just took advantage. And then I ran a jumper of power from here out to this piece of strip lighting. I'll do the same on the other two after after this sets up and I can remove the clamps from them. Then I can put the other two sides in. Okay, I have to shoot this from orbit because that light is so bright I can barely look at it. I can look at it on the camera, but I can't stare at it in real life, or else I'll see lots of white little dots in front of my eyes for the next hour or so. But that's all of the lighting that I'm going to be putting into the saucer. And let me show you how much that gets cut down by the actual top piece when we put that on. Okay, and that's with the top on now. Pardon the camera. That's with the top on, and what I'm doing now is finishing off what I started before, which is blocking out lights that are windows that I want to black out from the inside. I think I may want to do a couple in here, but don't worry about these. There's a separate block of light that I haven't hooked up yet that's going to shine up through there, and also the shuttle bay. These guys are going to be handled by the light spill that's coming up the neck. I think we're in good shape. I am ready to flip this over and black out the windows from the inside with Tulip. Well, folks, welcome back. It's Tuesday, and most importantly, it's election day. I have come back from casting my ballots. It was remarkably quick and easy, and I feel much better for it. Now I can cheerfully neglect all of the advertising for the next I don't know, for the next day or so, and then I'm gonna flee the country on Thursday. So boy, the results are up to you. I have nothing I can do about it at this point. What you're looking at is the secondary hull. What I need to do today is I need to dress up this joint. Need to do a bit of sanding over here still. But then I need to repaint these areas and paint the equatorial trench here, and this little bit under here. I need to paint that. That's about all it will take to get this ready. I'll paint it. One final semi-gloss sealer coat over all of that, including the nacelles. And then it'll be ready for decaling, and decaling will happen post Telford because I'll be picking up the decals from Keith. Now, if I can get that much done, then I can even get these guys glued on. I've been holding them back for good reason, because they're delicate and precious and all of that, and all the bumping and moving around, I didn't want to risk, busting those up. But those can go on. This will be repainted. I've painted black in there to address that light leak that's happening. I'll power everything back up, check for light leaks, and then put the final kisses on the secondary hull. There's one thing I want to do up front here. I've got this bagged up to protect it. One thing I want to do up there, and that is to find a tiny switch that I can put, on the back of the box, on the back of the LCARS box, that I can turn on and off the LCARS lighting so that it's not on all the time. Alright, this might give you a little bit of deja vu, but yes, I am re-templating or re-Aztecing, or actually using the same masks to protect that the bluish color, because what I need to do is repaint the gray all in through this area. And you would say, if you're going to do that, why'd you put Aztecs down in the first place? Well, typically I wouldn't have, but since I was developing the Aztecs while I was building this, it kind of went out of order. In a more perfect world, or in an actual surrounding, I would have built all of this before, and I would have had the blue coat on all of it before I started putting the Aztecs down. But because of the way this had to be built in stages and the templates were designed in stages and all of that, if I were offering it now as a set, and I probably will if you ask real nice, you would get this whole set and you would be required to build as much of this as you can before you even started putting them down. That's why these are, I had to replace them. But luckily for me, it's just a matter of firing up the plotter and cutting another set for me. So now that I've got this down, I need to take some of the gingham gray that I have. I'm going to decant some of that, put it in the airbrush, and respray this entire area. Then once that has had a chance to dry, you know the routine, peel these guys up, and then I need to mask the light blue areas again. There's a few of those that need to be repainted and re-brought out. So we'll just go through that whole procedure again. Yeah, we're ready to spray at this point. I need to get my window masks out. There's a couple windows here that are still visible. Okay, that went better than I was hoping. I even had enough left in the cup to fix some of these spots up in here with the gingham blue that I had painted over and not quite matched the gray. That gray is matched now because it is the same original gray. We're going to let that dry. Give it at least an hour or two. Come back, peel everything off and see how it looks. See if there's any blue that needs to be rejuiced up. And then we got the light blue that goes on top. Okay, so the gray has had plenty of time to dry. I'm going to remove the masking off of the blue shapes. And then we're going to assess whether the blue shapes need to be repainted or whether they're good as is. Alrighty, I just put the last few minutes into replacing the light blue accent masks and taping that area off. And we'll be doing these. Now, I think this will constitute the last bit of patching paint on the star drive. Yay! Okay, so it's time to remove these masks now. We've had a long enough time for the paint to dry. And then we'll do an assessment and see where we stand. Okay, we're coming down on time to close up for this week. Got a lot, or not this week, for today. Still got another day's work on here I can do. Got the body paint color in there. I need to paint the gray accent down both sides tomorrow. I got the switch in here to turn off and on the L cars. It's just hidden on the back so that that's not on all the time. But if we power on the ship, I cleaned off some of the warp coils to make them a little bit brighter. Take a little bit of acetone and cleaned off the schmutz on the Sard bulbs there to make sure that they can shine a little bit brighter. Trimmed down the strobes back here. They were sticking up. If you remember, those were those LEDs that were hi-hat LEDs or lighthouse LEDs. But anyway, so I took the Sonic Saber and just cut those off even with the ship. And I think what I'll do is I'll make a little dome. I'll get some of the Solarez doming resin, just put a little dome of that on there and hit it, and that'll make a nice beacon there. Got all of this repainted, and these are nice bright shapes again. Very happy with how that got blended back in. We've got our running light here. We've got, oh, that's something else it's gotten paint on it. I can clean off with a little bit of the, well, I could scrape it here, but really a little bit of acetone would clean that right up too. But that bulb there is lit. The red and greens that are back here are lit. Shoulder lights are lit. This part of it's all looking very good. So I think, yeah, I got the neck light under there. Sorry, there is lit, and then the green light there. The deflector. Once I get this orange area repainted, I can pop the dish in permanently, get it ready, but I think I want to spray a satin coat in behind there before I put the dish in. Yeah, things are going really well today. And I also picked up a can of frosting, clear frosting. It's meant to give you the effect of a frosted window. And I'm painting the Bessard collectors with that because the sanding just wasn't enough. So we're going to see how well that takes. It may take a few coats to do that. Let's go ahead and turn this back off. There we go. Turn that back off. Good morning. Welcome back, everybody. It's Wednesday. It is the last work day of the week. It is, well, it's for me the last work day of 2 weeks. I have got to get a couple little things done on this before I can say arrivederci to it and go to the escape the madness and go to England for a week, maybe longer. And I'm down to some tiny touch-up stuff here. I want to paint these stripes into it. It's not stripes, it's the recessed sensor bands. That needs a dark gray accent in it. This needs a little touching up here. And then I want to put the saucer back on for some beauty passes. And here she is with the top on top. Now I've got everything as pieced together as I can right now. I still don't have the deflector in because I need to work on that area some more with the Tamiya body putty to smooth that out. I'm looking at the saucer and I'm thinking to myself, I didn't block out enough windows. I think I might want to block out some more. I thought I was doing a pretty good job with that, but I mean, you can see the ones that are obviously blocked out, but there's still so many that are lit. So I'm thinking I might want to take out a few more. Oh, I just did another round of window closing. I also touched up the tulip that was in the windows from last night that had dried and made an air pocket. I suspect I'll have to do the same with what I've added this afternoon, but that won't happen today. But you can see where I've blocked out even more, probably as many more this time as I did even the first time. So maybe it'll look a little less tanning Betty. But we're going to let this dry, and I'm going to put it over to the side. And I think the last thing to do on the star drive really is to take it outside, hit it with a satin coat, and get it ready for decals. Because I've touched up the paint to the point where I think I'm going to do that. I've got to add the front of the Bessard collectors on. Got to do that. I'm staring at it because it's over here on the floor. It's taken up space on its own. Just doing the small checklist of things that need to get done. So let's take this outside and take the saucer off, and then take it outside and put a flat or a satin coat on it. Well, look, we've got a fairly clean table. The secondary hull has been doused in satin clear coating, except for the parts that I still need to touch up. I'm down to just these few parts here. I've been putting this off, but I've got to get around to it and actually do it now. And that is fitting the Bessard collectors into the collars like this. Now, these Bessard collectors have been trouble since day one. They are not very well made. They are vacuum formed, and I don't fault that because it's about the only way you could have done it. If you had printed these, or if you had cast them in clear resin, the weight of it would have been really horrendous. Now, the best way to do this would have been, injected styrene, but no one's going to spend money for that kind of a tooling. But so these were vacuum formed. Now, the vacuum forming, it was not a very clean process, and it's left defects in it that I can't get out. I've sanded them. I've sprayed them with clear coats. I've sprayed them with that frosted glass looking thing, looking paint. I've sanded in some more. You just can't quite get it out. Best you can do is mitigate it. So this is where I'm at this point. And I need to put them in the forms like this. Now the forms have a top and a bottom, or the forms, then the cell collars have a top and a bottom. This is the top, that's the bottom. So, the job is to, find the least offensive face and make that your top. And then you're stuck with the other one. It can only go one of two ways in there. You put the ugly towards the bottom and you hope no one notices. Now I'm pushing these in as far as they will go, and then we need to once that's done, we need to put a bead of glue around there on the inside just to keep them from falling back. You're going to end up smearing glue on here somehow. It's going to happen. So, what are you going to do? It's going to happen. So we push these in as far as we can, and then I'm going to put a bead of glue around here to keep them from falling back in. Let's do that. Now, which adhesive are we going to use for that? CA? Even the thick CA, you don't want a thin CA. It'll run out all over top of it. We've got Solarez. We could try that to see if that would keep it. And then we've got epoxy, and those are our only three really good options. Epoxy is too sloppy. Yeah, I think the best thing to do is try a little of the resin and see if it works. I hate doing that. Let's try a little CA. We'll start with something conventional, and then we might have to work up. Okay, I like those windows a lot better. We're still seeing plenty of bright windows, but we're seeing more gaps in them, which is nice. Okay, happy with that. This is going to be kind of where she's going to stay until my return, because there's not much more I can do about it. Any of this now. It's just with the limited amount of time I've got left, this is where it's going to sit. Well, kids, that's how we're going to wrap up week 10. We've got about 2 more weeks of work on here, I think. But we have made some great strides even in this very short week. So I'm going to go skip off to the England, to the United Kingdom. I'm going to go skip off to Telford. I'm going to try to forget about the last week. I'm going to enjoy myself, put my feet up, and drink a pint or two. And who knows, when I come back, maybe we'll finish this up. Like I said, I got about 2 more weeks left in it, I think. So until then, please be kind to each other out there. We are all we got. And I'll talk to you soon.